Hey everybody, it's me, Angelica Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva, and right now you're actually behind the scenes of the Chocolate Diva Talk Show. Now normally when you see the show, it's already done. You see the full production of things. Everything is ready to go out through Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever your social media platform of choice is. It's gonna be there. However, I decided today, since I had some time, I wanted to do a pre-show, if you will. Now, I haven't done a pre-show before either, but you know what? It's the first time for everything. And if you like this pre-show, then hit me up on social media at the Chocolate Diva on Instagram or on Twitter at AngelicaCC If you like the pre-show and you want me to have them keep coming, then let me know and maybe I will. However, until then, I just wanted to stop by really quick and have a quick chat with you guys on one of my favorite artists, and I'm talking about Neo Soul Nerd. Now, if you have been following me for a while, and if you have been keeping up with the show since the first episode, then I'm sure you remember seeing her on a past episode of the Chocolate Diva Talk Show when she was with her group, Blessed Coast Collective. However, now she is bringing it solo dolo, and she has released 2 new singles that I'm in love with, one being Manifesto. She talks about so many things that most of us can relate to, from love to breakups, heartbreaks, all of that, just to adulting in general. I mean, there's a lot to be talked about, especially if you're part of the millennial or Generation Z generation, okay? So, let's get into all of that right now. Now, she has been doing this for a minute now. She'll be on next week, but I just want to give you a preview of her so you guys can get familiar, and I'm sure once you hear her, you'll be in love with her just like I am. If you like artists like Jhené Aiko, if you like artists like SZA, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, neo soul artists in general, neo soul music period, then she's definitely the artist for you. She is unique, she has her own style, and she's not afraid to take risks and do collabs. I mean, I love when hip-hop and neo-soul music merge together. I mean, that's how you get beautiful hits like The Roots and Erykah Badu's You Got Me, you know? So, you'll definitely love her, and you'll love that whole music vibe if that's what you're into. And not to mention, let me tell you something. She is going to be someone who I feel like is one of the leading voices of the neo soul movement. I mean, she's underground right now. That's why I got her, because you know I'm like the voice of the underground. I like to bring you hot new artists that are undiscovered but still are rocking the city that they're in, and she's one of those artists. So I'm actually going to give you a little taste of who she is. If you are interested thus far, then keep watching, because I'm going to play her music video right before the Chocolate Diva Talk Show on the Chocolate Diva Talk Show pre-show that's going on right now. And if you like her, and if you are more interested, you can also follow her on social media at Neo Soul Nerd, and you know, show us some love. From the Chocolate Diva to you, I'm bringing you Neo Soul Nerd, and yeah, so stay tuned for the rest of the Chocolate Diva Talk Show.
I'm fed up, I'm disgusted. I made up my mind, you're not to be trusted. You were the right one, and wasting my time. You always wanted less than more. So tell me my love, it's something wrong inside my head. So tell me my love, am I too emotional? Bullshit, who you think you're playing? All the shit that you've done. Don't excuse the mess you made. Cover up, you're turning raging red. I can see your true colors. I got no more tears to shed. Well, tell me my love,
Hold up.
Was this all inside my head?
Hold up. So
So tell me my love, tell me my love, tell me, yeah. Hold up. Am I too emotional? I'm too good for you. Good for you, good for you. Did more than what I could for you. Good for you. You won't admit it, but you won't forget it. That bitch ain't half the woman that I am to you. You. Erase you from my memory. You're worse than my worst enemy. It hurts too much, I'm in overload. You're too much, I'm in overload. So tell me my love, tell me my love. Is something wrong in my head? So tell me my love, tell me my love. Am I too emotional?
Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva, and you are listening to the Chocolate Diva Talk Show. Now, as usual, I always bring you the hottest, the newest, the dopest artists out there, okay? And today was going to be no different. However, there was some miscommunication between me and another artist. I'm going to keep it confidential. However, they were not able to be here today for whatever reason, even though we had planned to have this happen. It was going to be dope. Y'all was going to love it. But they're not here. So, I had to still bring y'all something cool and something, very Chocolate Diva-licious as I always do. So I decided to give y'all a little bit of a quick tea with me, Angelica Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva. And shout out to my videographer, Skylar, because she is here and ready per usual, and she is going to be getting all of this right now. So there's a lot of things that are going on. I'm sure if you're on social media, you've probably already seen it. If you're up on your current news or anything entertainment like I like to be, I'm sure this is something you would definitely be interested in. First things first, Miss Wendy Williams. She will be getting her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She is literally like one of the queens when it comes to journalism. Whether you like her or not, you have no choice but to listen to her when she comes on your TV station, or when you hear her on the radio when she was there, or when she makes appearances. She's just one of those leading voices in entertainment journalism, and I salute her. And she will be getting her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame alongside other notable people like Dr. Phil McGraw and Today host Kathy Lee Gifford. All have been around since forever. If you are a millennial baby, if you're a millennial baby, a Generation Z baby, or anything like that, or beyond, you know these voices, and so it's no shock that they will be getting their own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I think it's especially great for Wendy, because it seems that ever since her divorce, she has just been thriving. She's back on her show now. She's getting this Hollywood Walk of Fame star. She has a new bae out there. He is young. A lot of people think he's fine. He has a little bit of a past, but so does a lot of people, and she just seems to be glowing and effervescent since she has been doing her own thing and moving on from that situation with her husband. And so shout out to you, Wendy. I'm happy for you, and keep pushing forward. I can't wait to see what she'll be evolving into next. Moving on to Miss Riri Rihanna. She will be getting acknowledged as usual in Barbados, and now she is going to be possibly having her own museum dedicated to all of her work. She has been on the scene for the last decade and a half almost. She came out in 2005. It is now 2019. She almost is 20 years in the game, and she is just amazing. And I think it's wonderful that the Barbados Prime Minister wants to open a museum to celebrate all of her contributions and work. She has a diamond ball, which she has every year to raise money for, you know, world hunger and different impoverished countries. She has her Fenty beauty line, which is thriving and successful, and it's just booming. Of course, she has her amazing music career, and she is just, I mean, who doesn't love Rihanna? I mean, she's fashionable, she's beautiful, she's talented, I mean, she's giving, she is just like everything. So it's befitting that she will be having her own museum that will be coming forward. And I just feel like, as a Rihanna, I don't know if I would be a part of the Navy. I mean, I love some Riri, but there's definitely fans that go harder for her than me. I just feel like Rihanna has overcome so many things, from controversies just to evolving her music style. If you remember when she came out, she was very pop music, you know, very hip hop, pop, R&B, and when I remember when she transformed into a more sexual, more risk-taking Riri, there was a lot of pushback, but she pushed through and she really solidified herself in the music game, and that's why she is in still 10 plus years and has not lost a beat since. So shout out to Miss Riri for you and your museum. I will definitely be making a trip down to Barbados to get all of that amazingness in that museum once it opens. Yes. Now, Nicki Minaj is back and better as ever. I mean, she's back and better, you know, than ever, as ever. It seems like she's going to be on forever because she's just always delivering heat when she comes back with a new album or new singles. And this year, she is taking us into the summertime with some poppin' new music. Okay, when I tell you it is sexy, it'll get you on your feet dancing. It has a dope chorus. I mean, Nicki does deliver when she pushes through. I especially love it because she has collaborated with one of my favorite artists of all time, Trina. Okay, the Diamond Princess, Mrs. 305, the baddest in the game. Okay, they released their single called Baps. She released this with Trina right before she released Megatron, and I just want to focus in on Baps, the single, for a minute. I know a lot of y'all probably thinking about the movie with Halle Berry, which I'm sure was the inspiration behind the single. However, I want to just focus on Baps for a minute, just because when I heard Trina's verse, the first thing she said on that record was, "This is for French Montana, Tory Lanez and friends, Jay Harden, and you too, Mr. Martin." Now, I don't know if she was calling them out or if this was just for shock value for the song. If you listen to the song, it's pretty much about the types of men that her and Nicki like and the types of girls those men like, which I guess would be Trina and Nicki types, which they considered Baps. I think that's why they named the song that. So when I was listening to it and I heard Trina's verse, I was just like, oh, and I just didn't know what to make of it, because I didn't know if Trina was kind of airing out dirty laundry, or if Trina was just, you know, making a record and rapping, you know, like sometimes hip hop artists do. Like I remember the song Dreams by Lil' Kim, which she sampled from the Notorious B.I.G.'s Biggie's version of that song Dreams, where, you know, Biggie was talking about the different R&B singers he would smash, but it was all under the premise of it being a dream, like he was fantasizing. And then when Lil' Kim did in her version of Dreams on her album Hardcore, she was rapping about, you know, all of the R&B guys and I guess different hip hop guys she would be smashing. And I remember when Nicki Minaj did Barbie Dreams, she did the same thing. So I was thinking when Trina did it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like a Dreams type situation. Nevertheless, it just had me thinking. I'm like, okay, was she, you know, maybe just talking, or are these people she was really, you know, with that she's calling out? Because she continued to say she curved all of them. So I was like, okay, she's, you know, spilling some tea. And then she went on to talk about a guy named Wayne, and everybody knows that her and Lil Wayne were an item for a really long time. I believe they were engaged and whatnot. So I was like, okay, well, I think, you know, Trina's spilling some tea in this record. But it was a dope record. I thought that the chemistry between them was amazing. And I love the song. Of course, you know, they had Juvenile on the hook. And, I mean, who doesn't love Juvenile? I mean, he's one of the hot boys. I mean, he has made one of the most iconic songs of all time. Back That Up. I know I skipped a word, but that's because the show's PG-13. But you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, it was a dope song. So, Nicki Minaj dropped that. And then after that, she released Megatron in that video, which is very sexy, very, you know, Trinidadian, very islandy. She had her bae all up in the video. And I just hope at this point that they remain together, because sometimes when you have your bae up in the music video, for some reason, things seem to eventually end up disbanding thereafter, whether it be shortly thereafter or in the future. I just feel like when people start putting people up in the music videos, it's almost like sometimes the relationships, I guess, fizzle out. You know, it could just be a coincidence, but I remember Robin Thicke had his then wife Paula Patton up in the music video. Bow and Sierra was in a music video together. They broke up, so hopefully they continue on. She seems to be very in love. Whenever I see her and him on Instagram, it's very sweet. And I think because they do have a history together, they were together a long time ago in their childhood and their adolescence, and they reconnected now. So I'm happy we could be hearing wedding bells from her and her bae. So shout out to Nicki dropping heat as always. I mean, she has went #1 again on iTunes. I believe Chun-Li went #1, and now her song Megatron went #1. So congrats to you, Nicki, most definitely. And that concludes this episode of the Chocolate Diva Talk Show. It's very short and sweet. However, it was just a little, you know, a little tea just from me to you. And I will be coming back next week with a dope artist by the name of Neo Soul Nerd. She is a amazing singer. I would consider her a friend of mine now. Her music is definitely soulful, and it just gets you. It just gets you up, and it gets you, you know, in the same mindset of 90s artists like Erykah Badu, of, you know, other artists like Jill Scott, and she's just amazing. So, with that being said, this is the Chocolate Diva Talk Show with me, Angelica Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva.
I'm fed up, I'm disgusted. I made up my mind.